lives one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
What's going on, people? Charles McCutcheon here. I'm your favorite entrepreneur. As you know, it's a Monday. I have a lot on the list. I don't know what I'm going to be able to get through with. But those who don't know, my name is Charles McCutcheon, best-selling author. I have the nonprofit helping homeless veterans. I'm out here writing books and helping people to write books and doing some stuff down in different cities. And I'm just traveling, and I'm actually enjoying life, but I'm working at the same time. It's about business, getting that business taken care of. So this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go over some of the things that I'm going to be coming up. I'm going to be doing an actual webinar. And for me, a lady just asked me this. For me, it's about getting the information in steps. I'm a step-by-step guy. That's the best way I know how to learn. By just telling people, when you see it, because to me, you know, it's old saying, seeing is believing. So I want to show you what I'm talking about. That's the best way for me to put information out. And let me give y'all an agenda. But before I do that, every Monday I'm going to give y'all at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Standard Time, and you do the math on the times. So what I do is all about financial freedom. I have me bringing on some folks that's going to be discussing different topics that all, you know, it all boils around financial freedom. So I'm going to bring those folks on as the weeks go by. Be bringing them up, and they're going to be knocking it out the park because I like to work with professionals. And so let me give y'all this agenda. And I'm just going to run through it real quick, and I'm going to start pinging on some of the things that I'm talking about. So the agenda, and this is some of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about on the webinar. I'm doing a webinar because I need to show, you know, this is a part of the telling part, but I'm more of a, let me show y'all some stuff. You know, I show y'all the certifications, and this is how we get to that certification. Show y'all the real estate. This is how we get to the real estate. Show y'all the credit. This is how you get to the credit score. This is how you get to the funding. This is how you get. That's what it's about. I want people to be doing things like just, you know, listening to me talk or what have you. So the agenda, funding without using your social or your credit score, that's one of the topics. I'm just going to run through topics. How to do real estate with little to no money. That's going to be a big one only because I know this summer is going to be a lot of fly-by-night people that come to your town and telling you that you can sit behind a computer and make all this money in real estate. All you have to do is pay them $20,000 and blah, blah, blah. I hear that so much because I still go to seminars. And, you know, there's a lot of good information on seminars. So, and I'm just going to do step-by-step to show you that too. And then I have the step-by-step process to getting government contracts, to getting certified so you can get government contracts. The other piece of the puzzle is access to the experts. As I said, I'm going to bring on live speakers. Now, I'm going to talk about nonprofits and how they're failing. I see a lot of nonprofits. I mean, these are seasoned nonprofit owners. It's been 5-6 years in the game, and they're still doing like fish fries and stuff like that. And I'm just showing the documentation of how to get out of doing fish fries and really going after the funding. I'm going to show why people are not getting a grant and really a step-by-step to doing a grant and a step-by-step proposal. You know, I have proposals already lined out, have grant information already lined out. I'm going to talk about how to write a book only using 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day to write a book. You can do a book in a weekend, but that's a 40-hour weekend. You better be ready. I hope you're ready. Some people are not ready for that, and that's okay. That's why you can do it 40 days or 40 hours. You pick it. But I see some people, they've been writing the same book for the last 15 years. That is unacceptable. That is totally unacceptable. I'm going to show people how to get paid speaking gigs. So my thing is, when you write a book, you're going to have to speak. They go hand in hand. If you don't want to speak, you shouldn't write a book. And if you're scared, then you got to get unscared, because if somebody's going to pay you $500, $1,000, $2,000, $15,000, I just saw a lady online talking about $100,000, well, really $20,000 every time you get up and talk for five times to some staff and some corporate folks. And this is the sad part. I see her. She asked somebody, "Would you be willing to do that?" One lady was like, "I'd be scared." And my mindset is, come on now, that's $100,000, and from a numbers perspective, a great 92 to 96% of the country won't even see $100,000 this year. 92 to 96% of the country won't see $100,000 this year. And a lady just kind of threw herself under the bus by saying that she would be scared to do it in front of 20,000 people online. And I'm like, does it matter how many people you're in front of? It doesn't matter, because 9 times out of 10 we're praying for something and we get it. And like I said, she threw herself under the bus like, I can't do it. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. The other thing is, the biggest thing is credit, personal credit. So I have a way now to get you $20,000. Would you want to hear about it? It's just information. Would you want to hear how to get another $20,000? And this is the reason that number is very significant. So the bigger reason it's significant, because you get $20,000, I don't care if it's a trade line, credit cards, whatever, to give you $20,000, now what that's going to do is increase your credit score, lower your utilization. So lower it. It needs to be below 30%, but I guarantee $20,000 will put a nice little hit in your utilization, and it's going to go down. We needed to go down to 30, to 20, to 10, to 15, to 5, to whatever you needed to, so you can get whatever you need to get. And the other, like I said, the $20,000 will increase your credit score to where you can get you can get funding with a good credit score. You get money to open a business or whatever you're going to do. Business plan, number one. A lot of us don't have any business plans. We just out there just kind of doing whatever we're doing. And a business plan is a livable document. It's literally a livable document that you're just going to keep adding to, taking away, moving stuff around. That's just what happens. And I see a lot of people want to pay somebody to do their business plan. And I tell everybody this. I say, do your own business plan to start, because you have a vision. And the one thing that's going to have to happen is, whatever your vision is, if you're going to pay somebody to do it, you're going to have to give them your vision. So you might as well just do it, put it on paper, start writing everything down, put everything in order, and then you can actually give it to somebody else to have them massage it if that's what you want to do. That's just my take on business plans. The other thing is, learn where you can find money when you need it. That's one of my topics I'm going to be talking about. Discover the power of joint ventures and learn how to structure these type of partnerships. Joint ventures are just, I'm going to go into a little bit of detail on this call if I have time. Discover how to price your products and make money. I don't care if you have products and services. You have to know how to price them. A lot of us don't know how to price them. A lot of us undercut ourselves and say, well, I don't think people will pay for this. And it's not about if they will pay for it. It's how valuable is the information that you have. What do you have to give to people? Are they willing to pay for it? And if they're not willing to pay for it, I just saw this online. This guy was like, I had about 100 people sign up for my event. He did a webinar, and he said only 3 people showed up, and then out of those 3 people, only 1 person stayed. So he had 100 people opt in, and that's because he didn't set it up right. That's all. He just didn't set it up right. He didn't understand what he was doing to only have 3 people show up. How to make money from writing books. I already told you about the writing books. But the thing is, you can write. See a lady, she had 13 books out there. And I said, well, it's cool to have books, but I think the goal is to put your information out there, and why not get a paycheck from it, if that's okay. If that's okay to get a paycheck, I think it's okay to get a paycheck from you writing books. No big deal. So those are some of the things I'm going to be discussing. I got another one that I'm going to drop on y'all, and it is how to put $100 to $500 back into your account. And this is the thing. It's not about going out to get another. It's not about doing anything else. It's using what you already have right now, but you're going to find right now, I'll put money on this one because I've done it with people just to prove that I was right. I'll put money on this one. What I've done is I took, I think it was like 10 people through a program to where I showed them where they had $100 to $500. The highest person had about $612 that they brought back into their checking account. And that's just, anytime you can bring money back in, like $600 per month. I mean, some people was, $120 per month, $200 per month. I think on average, I would say $175 to $225 per month brought back into their business. What could you do with an extra $225 a month? I don't know. That's something you need to figure out. So those right there, if that makes sense to you, just what I just rattled off, my email. Because if you find me on social media, I'm going to be promoting a webinar, and I'm going to be putting this information out. CharlesMSpeaks@yahoo.com. That's CHARLES, the letter M, Speaks, SPEAKS, @yahoo.com. I'm going to be putting all this information out. So I'm going to start running down a few of these things so you can kind of get a snapshot of what I'm talking about, how I'm doing what I'm doing. Everybody needs to have a better understanding. And I'm not going to keep y'all long, but I do want y'all to have a little bit of understanding. Now, I was just speaking to some people. One guy, he hit me up, and it was on Facebook, and he talked about getting funded, but he has a low credit score. So there's two ways we get funding. And I'm just using this on a big scale now. This is a big scale. On the big scheme of things, the big scale, to get funding, you can get it with your credit score or without your credit score. All right? We're not using banks to get funded. I hope. Let me say that one more time. A lot of people have trouble with that. We're not using banks to get funded. And one guy he was sitting there trying to argue with me, but I wasn't arguing. I'm not an arguing type of guy. He was trying to go back and forth with me on social media saying, well, banks are not giving out money to people who have a bad credit score. And I said, sir, you're right. He didn't understand where I was coming from. I said, we're not using banks, so take banks out of the equation. And then he said, well, if you have a bad credit score, you can't get funded. And I said, you're wrong. He said, well, banks are not. I said, well, take banks out of the equation. We're using lenders. Lenders will fund you based on your business. Lenders will fund you based on your business, vice your credit score. It's just a different. Lenders will fund probably 5 to 10 times the amount of a bank. And if you find me on social media, somebody that I got funded, $140,000. $140,000. So it's all about utilizing lenders vice banks. That's just me. We do it how we want to do it, but if the money's out there, so you getting funded without the Social Security number or your credit score, that has to be built, family. And people say, how fast can it be built? Well, it depends on how your business is set up. And if it's set up correctly, you can probably do it in 4 to 6 months, maybe 6 months time frame, if it's set up correctly. Depending on how many vendors you have. I see somebody, he had 6 vendors. So his is probably going to be, he probably can get funded probably within a 3-month period because he had everything set up. So it's all about your business, your specific business. And what I'm doing, I'm just giving people a blueprint, a financial blueprint to their specific business to allow you to understand what options you have and what you need to do so you can get funded. And I'm letting it out there for free, and it's okay. It's just information to me, but you can use it for the future to say, okay, I still need this, this, and this to be funded. And it's just a financial blueprint, and I think we all need one to have a better understanding. Now, this is the reason I say that. So we know a lot of businesses fail within, the first 5 to 10 years? This would say the first 3 years. A lot of businesses fail. And one of the biggest reasons, we don't have the funding that we need, for one. For 2, we can use money to stay afloat. For 3, we can use money to pay the people that's working with us in the company. For 4, we can use it for inventory. For 5, we can use it to, if nothing happens during this time frame where if you have a brick and mortar business and the snow came and y'all shut down, you need money to float your business. So that's why I think we all need some type of funding, even if it's just sitting in a line of credit waiting for you to use it. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. That's just my take on it. So that's getting funded, and I call that true business credit. True business credit. Now, the other thing on the agenda, how to do real estate with little to no money. This is a big one for me because I'm very passionate about real estate. That's where I got my start from. And I actually started off wrong, but I still was doing, still doing well. Not as well as I would like to, but I was still putting up a chunk of my money, $20,000, $30,000 to get into housing. And that's just, it's so many different ways to do real estate. And you can do it with little to no money. And I know I put some stuff out there on YouTube, or you hit me up and I'll send you some insight and information. I just sent some to this young college student telling her that, you can do it this way or that way. But I'm showing her, how to do it with little to less money instead of, putting up hard-earned money. And this is this is for the realtors and the real estate agents. I'm about to hit y'all upside the head. Y'all, bear with me for a second. So this is what happens. Right now across the country, there's about 19%. I'm going to use 20 just as a good round number. There's 20% of people that can get funded by a bank for a loan to get a house. 20%. So what does that leave, family? Easy math. That leaves 80% that can't. So when I say 80% that can't, what I'm looking at is the 80% of people that might have something wrong with their credit. The 80% of people that falls into the foreclosures. 80% of people that falls into the bankruptcy. 80% of people that may have went through something during the hard times or the struggle, and those 80% of people can't get a bank loan. So I work with the 80% of people. So whose odds are better, a real estate agent or realtor or mine? Because they're working with 20%, I'm working with 80%. They just don't understand how to work with the 80%. That's why a lot of people don't. So that's why, and I'm going to tell you all this, the market is going to crash. The real estate market is going to crash, period. It's going to crash, but the best thing about it is real estate will always be relevant. Tell you why. The way I do real estate, I like to put up about $100. $100, I may put $500, I may put $1,000, but my average, on average, is $100 into each deal. $100, depending on what type of real estate I'm doing now. I don't want y'all thinking that you're getting houses for $100. I'm getting in the house for $100. Please believe that one. So I show documentation too. I'm a documentation guy. That's the best thing you can do. So you get into the house for $100, but let me tell you something. When the market crashes, would you rather have $20,000 out there or $100 out there? And let me ask you this. For all those who say the market is going to crash and I don't know about real estate, when the market crashes, are we still going to live in houses or not? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question. Pretty simple. We're still going to live in houses. We're still going to rent. It's going to happen. So if that's the case, if we're still going to rent when the market crashes, and you only got $100 out there, is the market going to affect you? No. You got $100 into a house, how is it going to affect you? Let's be honest. It's not going to affect me. The market crashing does not affect me in my business of real estate and how I do real estate. Just giving y'all a quick snippets or what have you. So the step-by-step process of government contracts, the bigger reason I got into government contracts and started getting a better understanding is because I was searching for some money for my real estate deals. And I started finding that the federal government spends so much money on government contracts. It is like pathetic, and it's crazy, and it's amazing, all in the same. So I started finding out how to get certified. Certifications here and there, and I just kept going and started going to all these doggone meetings. I still go to these doggone meetings, and I don't want to go to these doggone meetings. There are over 60,000 websites. 60,000 websites to get certified. And that's just, I don't know if they do that to confuse us, but it's just amazing. Why would they put that many websites out there? If people trying to understand it and it's just not favorable to us. So what I do with everything I do, I just wrote steps down and how I got this certification. Write steps down. How did I get this certification? Write steps down. That's what I do. As far as proposals, started working through those. Got steps on how to write a proposal, what these funders are looking for, when to talk to funders. So I do a lot of research in everything that I do to make sure that I'm getting the right information from the right people. And then it's all about taking the right action, all right? So this access to experts, I'm going to put that out there, live speakers. Now, when I say live speakers, I'm talking about real estate attorneys. I'm talking about attorneys, estate attorneys. A lot of people don't even understand what estate attorneys do. I'm going to have on there realtors. I'm going to have on there credit specialists. I'm going to have on there nonprofit consultants. I'm going to have on there insurance folks that are experts. My thing is built, the core is built around financial freedom. So you'll be able to listen to these experts. You'll be able to ask questions and to find out, okay, well, what are these guys doing? How are they doing it? How can they help me? And you'll be able to reach out to those same people who are experts in those fields to get more information on whatever information you need as far as, where you are and what you're doing. So that's going to be the live speakers. Already setting that up. It's already in motion. I have people that want to get on. I already reached out to them, and they're waiting on me to get on. So that's what we're going to make that happen. Why people are not getting grants. This is going to be geared towards, I hear people, well, I want a grant because I want to start a business. I hear that. And I want a grant, to do this or do that. And I'm going to tell people like this. Mainly, a big portion of the grants are set out there for nonprofits, all right? A big portion is set out for nonprofits. You do have grants that are for single individual people, but more grants are set out there for nonprofits. And there's so many grants that are like private grants. You won't even know until you know this organization is tied to this organization, and you happen to find out that they're giving a grant. And some of the grants are like that. Some of them are online. You have you can go to so many. You can go to the SBA.gov, and you can go talk to those guys. They can help out with some type of grants, and they have different loans they give out to SBA, and that's Sierra Bravo Alpha, SBA.gov. They help out with grants as well. Now, how to write a book using 5 minutes a day. Let me tell you all what I did to get to that point. So this guy that was actually by the name of, I forgot his name, but you're going to know it in a second. I flew out to California to meet this guy, and he had wrote one of the writers of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. And I was like, I'm reading up on him, and I'm like, they sold 500 million copies, y'all. And that, to me, is just, like, truly amazing. To me, it's like anybody who sells 500 million of anything, I just want to know what they did. So I got me a ticket out to Cali. I spent my time out there learning. And it was just like, wow, why can't – I don't know. It was just amazing to me to get that type of information. And he didn't teach me how to do 5 minutes a day. This other guy by the name of Jerry Roberts up in Maryland taught me how to do the 5 minutes a day book. So what I've been doing, I went out to Cali to get information because he's a New York Times bestseller a couple times over, and I went to Dallas to get information from another New York Times bestseller. I went up to Maryland to get information from an international bestseller, New York Times bestseller. I just kept going to all these people who are New York Times bestsellers because I wanted to see what they were doing. And that's how we basically get their information and use it. And so then I became a bestseller as well back when, and I just keep going, and I'm keeping writing. And, I have other books that I have that's going to be out there, and it's just going for it, y'all. We're just not playing no games. So this 5 minute a day book that I learned how to do, and it's all about the planning of a book, and it's almost a 90-day program that we need to have that a lot of people don't even know about. I see people with books, and I see them doing they do meetings and stuff like that, and I'm like, or book signings, And I'm like, ugh, you're not really supposed to be doing that. But, people do it anyway. And they do it because we don't know. We're not in the know. So I went out there, like I said, to California, and I spoke with Mr. Jack Canfield, and he broke a lot of stuff down, got a lot of information, paid for his services, whatever I had to do to get the information that I needed, and I moved forward with his information. And then, like I said, it's a 90-day program. There's stuff that you do before the book is even printed. You can make money before your book is printed, but a lot of people don't even do that. I was trying to teach this guy that concept, and he said, well, I just want to put it out there. And I said, well, you don't want to make any money? Well, yeah, I want to make some money. I said, do you want to make money before it's printed? He said, yeah, but I want it out now. I said, well, it doesn't work that way. I said, I can give you the information, but you're going to have to do it my way. If you do it your way, you got to just throw it out there, and you're not going to make money to help you because you're going to spend money to get it printed and do all that stuff with it. So, I mean, he did it his way. I'm not mad at him, but, good luck. And that's the thing. I get all this information from all these experts, and people try to change up their information. And I'm like, why would you change up? This guy, they sold 500 million copies, yo. I don't get it. Why would you do that? But, people will be people. It is what it is. The other thing with the books, like I said, is paid speaking gigs. And so with these paid speaking gigs, you can start out where you're comfortable with. I don't care where you go. You can go tomorrow and go to a university and find somebody and let them know, hey, I want to speak. I don't care if you're scared. You got to get from being scared so you can speak in front of these crowds and, get you a contract set out. And I don't care if it's $300. You can make money speaking. I mean, you're going to talk anyway, right? You're going to talk. You might as well get paid for it. That's the motto. Get paid for it because you're going to talk anyway. And there's so many different contracts out there. There's no shortage. It's out there for the taking. The $20,000 to fix your personal credit, it's going to be about 11 steps that I put out there for people. All I think I'm giving you. So don't try to skirt around the rules or the steps that I give. Just follow the steps. That's the best thing you can do. And after you've done it, if you want to curtail the steps and do it your way, I say do it your way. But if you don't know, this is what I get from certain people. So a lot of people hit me up, hey, and I see you a best-selling author, how do I write a book? So I get that sometimes. Or I get, how do I do real estate? I see you do real estate. How do I do real estate? So I give them the information, and then they change it up to be like, well, I was thinking about doing it like this. I was like, but you came to me for information, so now you don't want the information, or you already know how to do it, so why did you come to me if you already saying you know how to do it? It's kind of crazy. But, I let people be people, and I just keep moving. $20,000 to fix your personal credit. Business plans, I have a 31-day plan, or a 31-page business plan where you input your information. This is from Harvard University Law School. And so they had oh my goodness, it was too extensive, and so it was cut down. And now I spoke to a couple of bankers about the plan, the 31-page plan, and they use that plan and the executive summary in there to fund people. So you get that plan, you can make moves with that and do some great things. Learn where to find cash when and where you need it. That's a whole nother a layout. That's like a small program. It don't take that long to do that one, but I have that program. That goes with the how to put $100 to $500 back into your bank account as well. And to learn ways to make money online and offline. A lot of us are not utilizing the tools that we need to use. We're kind of just, I see some things on social media, and it's all, from the marketing standpoint. And I just look, and I'm like, wow, I don't believe they're doing that. I'm like one guy, he just inboxed me the other day, probably yesterday, and I don't even know this guy. And this is the thing and I know a lot of y'all kind of get the same thing. So he inboxed me, and he wants me to click on a link. And I was like, what is this link? And he just started talking to me about it. And I was like, that's really not how you do things, buddy. It's not really going to work for you like that. You got to build some type of, together, hey, this is what I'm doing. How are you doing? My name is, introduce yourself, because people buy from people they know, like, trust, and love, maybe a few others. But, just out of the blue, sending somebody a link, it's like, that's not going to go over too well. So you're probably going to lose that as a customer. So it's all about connecting with people, and it is big on marketing. And I tell people, if you're in business and you're not using Facebook to market, I think you're losing out on a big network of people, because you can personalize Facebook. So I can find somebody that's a single mom that lives in a city in Iowa that has a dog that likes Les Brown, that likes to read. That's how far I can go down. And I can keep going further, who likes the color red, who goes to concerts. I can keep going all the way down on Facebook to pinpoint the people that I want to market to. So it's all about, when you're doing the business plan, and the business plan is going to say, what's your audience? You can't have everybody as an audience. You have to find your niche of people. 18-year-olds may not like your product or service. It's not, they're not thinking about retiring. So you can't send, if you're in insurance, you can't send 18-year-olds stuff on insurance as far as retiring. That's, well, let me look at your portfolio. At 18 years old, it doesn't make sense. So it's more about detailing it and making sure you have a better understanding of what you're supposed to do. And that's coming down to the discovering your price and your products, and how you make money with your products. And a lot of you don't have any free stuff to give away. And that's where the big problem is. Everybody wants to sell you something. It's like, don't sell people anything. Why don't you engage them and give them good information? And 9 out of 10, you keep giving good information, they'll come back and they'll buy something from you because you're credible, because you gave them that free information to help them understand what it is they need to be doing or working on. So you gave them some value-added information. That's the key. Now, this is a bigger thing, one of the big things for me. I'll just give y'all this right now. I am an entrepreneur. I have a couple of different businesses. I'm working hard. I'm doing seminars. I'm doing speaking engagements, everything, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people want me to walk them through stuff. And, like, this lady told me that somebody spent 3 hours with her. And I'm like, I can't spend 3 hours with you unless I'm getting paid for it. I mean, I can't, because that's my time that I need to be building what I'm building. I can't just, nobody likes to go to work for free. And that's my concept and my mentality. Like, I definitely work with anybody. I give out so much free information, but there's a time, and I do it that way so people can really allow me to do my work. I put stuff on Facebook, on YouTube, and everything like that, and I say, go get it from YouTube. And they say, well, and I can tell if people went to my channel to look at the information, because the same question that they asked me is on YouTube. And I'm like, well, why didn't you get it from there? But I stop them up early. I said, oh, you asked some questions that's in YouTube. Well, I was going to ask this. Well, it's in YouTube. Well, what about this? It's in YouTube. What about this? It's in YouTube. Go get it. Go really take a good look. And you can stop YouTube. You can rewind and fast forward, whatever you got to do, and write it down. So next time we talk, you should be telling me about this particular program that you want to talk about. So that's why I like using YouTube and stuff like that, making money online, offline, blah. And the other thing is how to make money from writing books. I gave y'all the 90-day plan. There's a 90-day plan to making money in this thing. And if you're going to put your time into it, why not make money? I think it's okay to get paid for your services, Get paid. It's the information age, this technology that we have right here is a $1 trillion industry. This is a $1 trillion industry, and the sad part is a lot of people are not making any money in the information age. And it's just sad to me. It's like, why are you not? And the only reason you're not is because you haven't figured it out yet. The only reason you're not is because you don't have a mentor. The only reason you're not is because you don't want to pay a mentor. The only reason you're not is because you're trying to figure it out yourself. The only reason you're not is you don't have a GPS. The only reason you're not is you're probably watching too much TV, traveling, and having fun, and you don't put that get up and go into your business and into yourself, but you will go to work 7 days a week if you had to. Hate to put it that way, but that's just the way a TI is, y'all. I'm just telling y'all what it is. You know, that's all I'm just telling y'all the truth. I can sugarcoat it if you want me to, but that wouldn't be me as a person. So I'm going to skim through this right quick and give y'all the once-over. And the once-over is this, the agenda. And this is all going to be in a webinar. Details. Funding without using Social Security number or credit score. How to do real estate with little or no money. Step-by-step process to government contracts. Access to the experts and live speakers. What nonprofit owners are doing to fail, basically. Why people are not getting the grant. How to write a book in 5 minutes a day. Paid speaking gets $20,000 to fix your own personal credit. Business plans. Learn where you can find money when you need it. Discover the power of joint ventures and learn how to structure these partnerships. Discover how to price your products to make money. Learn ways to make money online and offline, how to make money from writing books, and how to put $100 to $500 back into your account. How about I show you that one first? How to put $100 to $500 back in your account. Now you have $250 that you can use to do whatever you need to do. How about that? You like apples? Because you should like those apples. Again, my name is Charles McCutcheon. This is Charles' Corner. And I want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank Miss Kimmy Robinson. She is doing it. And I'm just like elated with everything that's happening and going on. Elation Radio, you're on Spotify now. Elation Magazine is out there. I know it's going to be Elation TV is coming because everything is coming in time. In God's time, everything is going to come. And we are on iHeartRadio, which is a great thing, more exposure. This is just going to be phenomenal. And as we continue, it's just going to continue to grow, and we're going to keep providing great content, great information with great people. And we want you to take the information and actually do something with it by looking at it and just listening to it every week. How about that? Is that fair? So I'm going to pray us out, Father God. Thank you for allowing me to come on here and bless the people. Thank you for those who came on and for those who can't. Hopefully they can get the information so they can move towards the light and go get out the struggle. And we know that everything is done in your time. In your time. In your name we pray. Amen. Y'all take it easy. Charles' Corner. I'm your favorite entrepreneur. CharlesMSpeaks@yahoo.com. Get in touch.